Yo, Cultural Confederates, welcome back to the channel. It's Wednesday night, Cultural Confederacy here, so happy Wednesday. And I gotta say, I was not expecting the type of response that I got on my Kendrick Lamar video, his halftime or Super Bowl halftime show video. So I got a lot of comments, a lot of blowback. You don't know great art, you're a racist. You're just saying you like people like Ray Bryant to appease the races. So what I want to do is not yell or scream in this video, not get mad at anybody, but I'm going to show you the albums that I have or CDs I have in my collection here. We'll just go through them. It's a huge list, and I didn't have time to list them all. I'll kind of tell you what they are as we go. But tell me if you don't like some of these album covers. And this is one of my big beefs with the classical music industry. They need to make this more appealing, so people know that this music is out there. And if you're new to the channel, no fancy graphics, epic soundtracks, pretty boy camera angles. It's you, me, my smartphone, the news of the day, and this mission, this crusade to preserve great art, music, history, and culture wherever it comes from. I don't care who you are. If you got great art, great music, bring it to the table. Let's see it, let's hear it, and don't go to the gutter. That's my big thing. Don't go to the gutter. Be the best that you can be. And that's a point I was actually trying to make in the last video. Because I mentioned Jimi Hendrix, I mentioned the Modern Jazz Quartet, and I have actually some jazz CDs in this pile here. So let's go through them one by one. And thank you again for watching and subscribing if you've been subscribing, watching the videos. I have a lot of fun doing this channel. So this is Weber, the Freischütz, and pardon the camera angle, as I said, we do things raw here. Isn't that a cool CD cover? That is so gangster. Next we have Anton Bruckner, Symphony No. 6, Skrobaczewski. Next we have Schumann, Symphonies 1 through 4. This is a really hard CD to get, but if you can find it, get it. It's a really good CD or symphony cycle of the Schumann symphonies. We're going to get a little juicy now with some Willy Bobo. Great album. This came out in the 60s. Sorkochevik. You got to get this CD. This is a legendary performance, as it says here, from London Decca. Schulte and the Weimar Philharmonic, Schubert's Ninth, the Great. Anton Rubinstein, Symphony No. 6 on Marco Polo. Tchaikovsky, who studied under Anton Rubinstein. This is Nemyarvi and the Gothenburg Symphony, Symphony No. 2, Little Russian, and the Overtures. Another must-have in your collection. It's off of Bis. The Crusaders, Free as the Wind. Awesome album. You got to get this album. CEEF Wise, or Wiza. Symphonies 1 through 3. I also have 4 and 5. Also on, it's on Marco Polo. One thing about Naxos, it's part of Naxos. If you know who Naxos is, they had Marco Polo and another label, a couple other labels. I think there's Capriccio that's out there that one time was part of Madison Music Group or Delta Music Group, and they merged, I think, with Naxos at one point or worked with Naxos. Love this CD. Norbert Burgmüller, Hugo Stahl, Symphonies Numbers 1 in C minor. This, by the way, is the CD that I got asked to turn down when I had my music up loud one day, if that tells you anything. Sabrina Potter, off of CPO, Symphony No. 1. Franz Schubert, Symphonies 1 and 2, Naxos. Again, pardon the camera angle. Sergio Mendes, The best is Sergio Mendes. Now, on this album, they actually added 2 tracks to it. Because my grandma, she had the original, it was actually on the Sears label. At that time, Sears did a promotion with whatever the record label was. And you go into a Sears store, and I think that was a demo record. You could actually buy that in Sears. So I think they added 2 tracks to that. Next we have Hofmeister. Great album. One of my favorites, Gloria Lynn, Basin Street East, and Live at the Thunderbird. Now, there's a couple issues with that recording. Put that back up for you. And that is that the volume kind of fluctuates, and they mentioned in the notes that it's because of the way it was recorded at the time. So there's nothing I can do about that, or nothing that the recording company that put this out could do about it, or record label could do about it. It is what it is. Next, we have César Franck, Symphony in D minor. Although this performance is slightly sluggish in the beginning, it is a good performance. And then you get what is rarely heard these days, What One Hears on the Mountain. And Liszt, he wrote, there's a controversy whether or not Liszt or Franck wrote the first symphonic poem. But this symphonic poem was written, I think, when César Franck was in his 20s. And another personal favorite, I just got this recently, Paul Reninsky. We also had a brother named Anton Reninsky. And some of these you may have seen in previous videos. Stan Kenton, Cuban Fire. This CD kicks ass. Sounds really good on the stereo. Here's a cover for you. Kuzalek, Rika and Vorshik. Now, the Rika isn't the best performance. See if we can move that up a little bit. Isn't that cool? We got 2 more piles, well, probably about 3 more piles to go through. So, Theodor von Schack. Again, for all those who say that I have no taste in music. Jazz on the Rocks. Kind of hard to find, but if you find it, get it. George Friedrich Telemann. String Concertos. Gotta have this one. Sounds really, really good. I mean, really, really good. You can hear all the nuances in this. Here's a classic, Philadelphia Orchestra, Eugene Ormandy, Tchaikovsky's Symphony No. 4, 1812, March Slav. Although the recording is not necessarily the best sound-wise, it is a good recording, but that was an issue back in the day with the Philadelphia. They never could find the right venue to record in. Also one that I picked up, Schubert Complete Overtures. This is the 2nd volume in that series. Really, really good performance, or performances here. It's got the, what is it, the Farabra Overture, which is the last piece on the disc. Some Bob James, Heads. Pardon my fingernail there. Looks kind of beat up, it's from the cold. Shown this one before, Vincent Lubeck. I like that cover. Complete Organ Works. Now, there's some pieces on here that I like, some that I don't. Here's one for you. Don't let the cover of this next one fool you. Frederick Ernst Feska. The overtures on this are, it's just a good CD all around, but the overtures are phenomenal. I mean, crank up the bass on this one. So never judge a CD by its cover. This next one, shout out to Dave Hurwitz's channel. He's talked about this quite a bit. C.P.E. Bach, Hamburg Symphonies, or Symphonies. Really good performance. You can get this cheap. Get it. Again, I'm trying to work on my camera angles here. Mancini Touch. Also a good one. Spyro Gyra, Morning Dance. Emily Mayer, one of the female composers from back in the day, along with Louise Ferrink, Symphonies 1 and 2 on CPO. Trying to move that up a little bit. Hey, it is what it is tonight. Also a good one, but kind of hard to find. In fact, when I ordered this first time around, they sent me the wrong CD because they both have similar titles, but I like that CD. Manhattan Transfer. Extensions. This has got the full-length Twilight Zone on it. Birdland. Now this is a sleeper, as Dave Hurwitz has pointed out. Bruckner 5 with Philly and Eugene Ormandy. Definitely get this great performance of this symphony. They say this is the most Brucknerian symphony. It's kind of quirky. This next one is, if those of you who've been following the channel know that this is one of those CDs that I have always championed. I just love the cover. The music's great. Performance is great. Here you go. Bernhard Romberg, and I'm going to show you in a little bit his cousin's CD that I have here for Andreas Romberg, and that is on the Ars label. Isn't that an awesome CD or a cover? Next, we got Cal Tjader, Monterey Concerts. If you're going to have any album by Cal Tjader, this is the one to have. Glinka. That sound, by the way, is me throwing these booklets on my bed here. Live in a small apartment. Louis Spohr. Now get this one for this first symphony and the overture on it. Symphony number 6, historic. Not that great of a work. Johann Wilhelm Wilms. Oh, there we go. Ramsey Lewis. A twofer here. You get Hang On Sloopy and Wade in the Water. Although I have an issue with Uptight on this album, they seem to cut a couple of the tracks here by a couple of seconds, or with Uptight at least by a minute and a half, I noticed. But it's a good deal if you can find this. Not too expensive. I think I paid like maybe $17 for it. With shipping, Spyro Gyra, Catching the Sun. We're almost done, folks. We are almost done, I promise you. Clementi. More Louis Spohr. Love this CD. There you go. George Onslow. A must-have. The last movement of the Symphony Number 4, delicious. It's called Coupe de Vent, so it mimics either the waves or the wind. I always picture somebody trying to close their window, trying to fight the wind, or keep the wind out. And I finally figured out how to pronounce this guy's name, Carl Loewe, Symphonies 1 and 2. Also a great CD to crank up on the stereo. Ignace Playo. Now, for those of you who like Playo, let you know, there is a CD that they're going to release, I believe, this month. I already pre-ordered it. It's Symphonies 18 and 21. Get it. It's on CPO. Got to have it. And it's with the London Mozart players. Couldn't remember the name. Another one where you can't let the cover fool you, Manfredini. Really good CD. A lot of these you probably haven't heard of. But this is great. This is what's out there. If you dig for it, you're going to find it. I love this cover. Isn't that cool? Haydn, Paris Symphonies, Bruggen. Franz Berwald, Tone Poems, Naxos. Berwald, Symphonies number 3 and 4, or the Symphonie Singulière, Piano Concerto. Dutch Symphonies. Now, this one is really hard to find, but it's a great CD. Put it in your collection. And it's for a good cause. They were doing something with preserving butterflies. That's why the butterflies on the cover. Now, Dave Hurwitz did a review of this CD, so shout out to Dave Hurwitz for reviewing the CD. And he had mixed feelings about this. I think this is a great CD. You got to have this in your collection if you like Spohr and stuff that's kind of off the beaten track. These are his opera overtures. Now, the funny thing is that came out in '93, so this stuff's been sitting out there, but it's not being promoted like it should be. This next one, not a throwaway track on the disc. That didn't come from me. That came from somebody who was reviewing this on Amazon. Get this CD. Every single track on this is great. Great. And I've talked about this one before. Handel, Concerto Grossi, Opus 6, the famous 12 Concerto Grossi. That awesome cover. Another one where you can't let the cover fool you. Eberwein, Symphony No. 3. There's a concert overture on here. Another piece, a concerto, something that I'm not too fond of, but get it for the overture if you can find this and for the symphony. You won't regret it. Johann Wilhelm Wilms, Symphonies 1 and 4, Overture in D. Bruckner, we're going to have to speed this up real quick. Symphony No. 1, shown this one before. Johann Gottlieb Grahn. Really good CD. Excellent sound all around. You'll love it. More CEFIs, Symphonies Numbers 4 and 5. Here is Bernhard Romberg's cousin, Andreas Romberg, Symphonies 1 and 3. And an overture on here. I love the bass in the first movement of the Symphony No. 1 on that. Tchaikovsky, Phillips. Get this for the First Symphony and for Francesca Del Romini. One of the best performances. Markovich. Sounds really, really good on the stereo. Legrenzi, who was before Vivaldi. This one was really, really hard to find. And this next one's also hard to find. But if you can find these, get them, put them in your collection. Vite, it's got the Overture and Symphony on here. The Romance and Finale, not too fond of that, but this is also another good one. See, all this stuff is out there. People just don't know about it. Go out, look for it, search for it, find it, love it. Roschler. Sorry about the camera angle again. I love this cover. This is class. This is what I'm talking about. Andre Previn, David Rose, Like Blue. Isn't that a cool cover? That is so classy. Love it. Absolutely love it. For all those who think that I'm a racist or I'm sexist or I'm a homophobic. Please. Berner. He's got a sad story. He was like an alcoholic, but wrote some great music. Haydn. Gotta get this. Franz Bruggen. Rest of the 18th century. Symphony No. 102, as Dave Hurwitz has said before, another shout out to Dave Hurwitz, is a sleeper, as is the drum roll symphony on this. And Symphony No. 97, Berlioz. Now, this is, I want to say, kind of a faint recording, not really. You have to kind of turn the volume up. Berlioz Harold in Italy, La Franjuge. But probably one of the best performances you're going to find of this piece of Harold in Italy. Although I think that the second movement is a little fast. But that's it. That's what I have in my collection. Tell me what you think in the comments section below. Thank you for being with me. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, you know what to do. Follow me at Instagram, #JasonComposes, because I write music in my spare time. Or you can go to X, Culture Confederacy, at Culture Confed 1 on X. Now you can find me at Substack. Have a good time. Good night, folks, and I'll catch you later. Take care.